I don't know why, but it seems like I always have to prove myself that I'm Nigerian enough to be considered a Nigerian. They'll ask me, oh, where's your family from? And I'm like, oh, from, they'll say Ibadan. Oh, where in Ibadan? And it's like, oh, they'll start speaking Yoruba to test if I understand. I'm in my business. I don't like What's good, guys? It's your girl, Tracy, and we're here for Outside Naija Season 4 in Chicago, and I'm with a dope, beautiful group of people.
Yamama.
Kehinde.
Destination.
And we're going to go right into the questions of tonight. So the first question I want to ask y'all is, why is there a disconnect between first and second Nigerians? Now, first generation Nigerians are people who were born in Nigeria and then moved to the States, and second generation Nigerians are Nigerians that were born here in the States. So for me, I'm a second generation Nigerian. How about you?
I'm a second generation Nigerian.
Yeah, I'm second generation.
I'm a fourth generation.
I'm first generation.
So why do y'all think that there's so much tension with first and second Nigerians?
I can go in. I feel like it's a broad topic, and there's a lot of branches, and it stems to like different perspectives. I think the first generation and the second generation immigrants, the differences could be seen in like the cultural identity, their perspective, and their experiences also.
Yeah. Right. I see that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think for me, with first generation Nigerians, I don't know why, but it seems like I always have to prove myself that I'm Nigerian enough to be considered a Nigerian. They'll ask me, oh, where's your family from? And I'm like, oh, from, they'll say Ibadan. Oh, where in Ibadan? And it's like, oh, they'll start speaking Yoruba to test if I understand. I'm in my business. I don't like And I understand the different cultural stuff, but sometimes it can be very rude, and it makes you feel like you're not good enough to be Nigerian because someone's checking you like, you're not Nigerian.
Yeah.
They'll call you, oh, you're black, you're not us, they'll other you,
Right.
And I don't know, it's always been weird, and I don't know why that's such a thing, because you're Nigerian, no one cosplays Nigerian.
I also feel like as a fourth generation, I feel like it's harder for the fourth generation to come here and settle down. Now the issue of settling from, because you live in your country, you're coming to like a whole different environment entirely. So there's the fear of I'm settling down in an environment where I don't know anyone. That's an issue. And then for the second generation, I feel like the problem or the issue I've seen or I've come across like some of my friends, it's them trying to trying to find a balance. I'm trying to be a Nigerian, and I'm also trying to be an American or
Britain.
And then it's very hard for you to strike that balance, and that difference is to be seen like between the first generation and second generation.
And I also feel like the first generation, like you said, for those who came from back home and came as immigrants to this country, it's a lot more harder because we think that as the second generation, we think that you have it kind of more easy because we were born here, have the support. We that are coming from out of in Nigeria, we come here, we have to find our way out here. We have to get our support system. Yes, we have family back home, but we still have to put in more work than those who were born here. I mean, that's the thing that I feel like a lot of immigrants or those who came here, like that's one of the things that they see as it can be very challenging for them because it's never easy. We know everything for the second generation. It's like everything has been set. You go to high school here, it's easy to go to college, and an international student now is hard because they have to find, the cost for international students is much more higher. They have to think about cost of living, feeding. Because I've been an international student, so I can understand how hard it is for those who came from back there.
And I get those perspectives because my parents were the first generation.
Yes.
But I know as a child it was frustrating, like you said, about outside in my home I'm Nigerian, but when I go outside, it's black people, it's white people, it's
Right.
everything.
Right.
So it's like you're trying to bridge it together with your family, but it's like, no, it's like, this is a Nigerian home, you can't go sleep over at this person's house, you can't go with Becky over here, no. You have to do the same thing. So I think it's always been a conflict, but I think now being older, I love being a second generation. I love even just seeing from the other seasons of outside Naija, you can see that it's more first generation, but like in Chicago Nigerians are different because we have more second generations like us. We got the black side, like I sound like, you know, like, I'm Yoruba, but you can hear I'm from Chicago, you know, and I love the balance of having Afrobeat and then listen to trap or cheap beat, you know, and when you go to clubs in Chicago, I don't know about the other cities, but the way that we mix drill and Afrobeat, like, it's amazing. And that's like the culture built that I think is dope, and I think even now, like, this generation of kids have things to look up to. They got the Burna Boys, they got Issa Rae, they got all these different artists who are Nigerian, so amazing, everybody, you know, so they have something to look up to when we didn't have that back in our day.
Right.
So I think it's really, I think first and second generation can learn from each other instead of like trying to low-key shade each other, because I don't be, I see the struggle, but I just don't like the shade.
Right. I wanted to say something earlier when you said, because like in my house growing up, like it was like in our home or in Nigeria. But as soon as I walk out the house, US. You know, that was the first thing I wanted to say about that. The second thing I wanted to say about that is, or in regards to the topic, was that, yeah, we should link together more because, and not really compare, because a lot of other ethnicities that are like Latino, Indian, like some of my friends from other cultures, they might be second generation, but theirs locked in. They don't really like, oh, okay, I'm Right.
Yeah, as a second generation, I've struggled a lot with mingling with the first generation. I grew up in an all-black school, so I did not have the cultural experience of being a Nigerian. You know, my dad passed away when I was extremely young. He was Nigerian, and that created a lot of challenges with trying to link up and to learn more about my culture. So I do understand that first generation has a lot of issues that they go through, but with the second generation, there are different cultural issues that we go through as well. And when I was in college is when I met Tracy. And she showed me more about the Nigerian culture. The Nigerian culture with the first generation has always been mean to me. And also told me that I was not Nigerian because of how I have my accent and I don't speak Yoruba. So, but I learned, and I don't have any Nigerian friends besides Soyce. So, and now they love me. And so trying to learn my native language is challenging. It's hard, you know, at my age. But I would like to learn it. I would like to learn more about my culture and you know, expand and actually go home to Nigeria.
I feel like if we can take a second and just pause for a little bit and kind of like appreciate the similarities that first generation and second generation have. Now, the first generation, the second generation, the parents came here to give their family a better life. First generation, they actually migrated to give themselves a better life. Similarities, they're all unique. So if I would like you, I'm like, no, well, she sees something that
And I feel like we should also learn from each other because there are things that second generation can learn from the first generation. Like for us to be like discriminating ourselves, it's not even it. It's supposed to come together. You know, the way she put you through back in college, you know, introduce a lot of things to you. That's what it should be all about. Because we are, whether we like it or not, we are all rooted from the same.
We're running the same race.
If you look at it this way, the first generation could learn from the second, just like you said here in high school or college, right? It was difficult for you to find friends. If there was that community, right? The first generation would be able to like, this is how like bring you and you yourself would there will be a symbiotic relationship where you yourself will help them understand how the society here works.
I don't know like the details of his upbringing, but he couldn't really type as well, like type on the computer because when he was coming to Nigeria, shout out to you, when he was correct, when he was coming out to Nigeria, he never knew how to type. So I remember when I first met him, and once we both knew we were both Yoruba, we were locked in. So when I would type the notes, because he didn't know how to type as well, and I would send it to him. Just because he never had that skill up until his like maybe late 20s or early 30s. But when we talk about helping each other out, that's like, I'm agreeing with you on that. He was helping me study. I'm gonna just say, Tunde, God bless you, bro. God bless you, man. See how we practice, we
It's a learn from ourselves.
Yeah, learn from yourself.
Life is a learning process. We all cannot get it together.
Right.
In as much as you might know it all, you still need some other knowledge from other people.
Right.
And if you're willing, if you're an open-minded person, that's why I tell myself, like, for me, I'm always learning. It doesn't matter how good I am at something. I always want to learn from others because you never know.
Right.
You never know what the person introduces to you, and you'll be like, you know what, I think that makes sense.
Right.
I always said that, like, why tease me when we be talking to each other?
Yeah.
We have so much in common. And I knew later, when people find out, like, oh, okay, she knows,
Yeah.
you know, right?
Yeah.
Then they're like, oh, wow, you're super cool, like, really? Yeah, but you didn't have to go through that whole mess of, G-checking
Before
to see
you
if
get
I.
there.
No, listen, like you said, the Latino people, they don't do that.
They
If you
don't.
if you don't speak Spanish, they'll
They will teach you.
They'll teach you.
I am real bickering.
Right.
They have to be, for them it's one big family.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Right.
matter if you were born here or you came from back here. It's one big family, like we all learn.
Yeah.
It's here.
I feel like another really like if you look at it from another like from a fish eye perspective, I feel like the second generation, the first generation are a little bit more conservative.
I would agree with you on that.
And then the second generation are more like a little more like open-minded.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yes.
know, because the first generation, you probably like grew up in a home where your parents are like super religious, you know,
Super strict.
there's like the hierarchy of like
Yeah.
seniority and all, you know. And then when you come here, you see how open everybody is.
Yeah.
And you know, you have to like unlearn.
Yeah.
Start learning. But then from like the second generation, it's like you're already open-minded. There's certain things that I wouldn't want to say when I'm with like, or I wouldn't want to do, or like when I'm with like second generation, because second generation are more open-minded, like accepting, you know, a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think for me, like I said, I have first generation parents, so they had to learn how, like we said, we're Nigerian at home, go to America
Right.
outside. They have to learn a lot of different things by me teaching them, like, Mom, you can't be talking, you can't say that. That's inappropriate. You can't say that. That's offensive. This is the, and you're right, we are liberal. Because I know when I have children, I'm not going to parent 100% the same way like my parents do. There's some areas that I'm like, oh, mom and dad were on it. Like, I understand, like, 30, like 31, I'm like, oh, yeah, I see why it's don't speak our words. You know, like, I get it. But some things is like, you can't just be, you can't do that. You know, like the way it's also to some of our parents and some of the first generation people who came here.
Right.
I know a lot of them have a lot of hard stories in Nigeria. So they bring that when they come here, they have families, they bring that no love, the not being emotional and all this stuff because we don't, and I think it's common with Nigeria.
Yes.
We don't show love like in America, it was cool to see on TV people hugging each other, your mom and they'll like parents, like a TV show, you see mom and dads hugging each other and stuff like that. I didn't see that with my parents like that. They would joke on each other. That was their sense of love. But the way that we normalize and see in the United States, that's not something you see in Nigeria. So those type of traditions and those types of thinking, I can agree, we are more liberal, but in a sense, I think it can be good and bad. You know?
That's what we need to like exchange. See about the vibe.
And I feel like also for the first generation, there are people that are too stuck up and not willing.
That's
So
true. That's true.
Let's talk about that. They're not willing because they're so soaked in that culture that they grew up from back home that this don't make sense.
Yeah.
They don't want to do it.
Right.
They don't want to lay.
And they're gonna be like, I
they, like you said, they're not really willing to think of another lifestyle outside of what they've been given.
Yes.
So for us, we're abroad in the States, right? Certain people feel like that's all that exists. Like just because I was born in America, I can only think in America. Like no.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You have that like heritage as an advantage.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that's good that you can take from Nigeria, take it. Whatever is bad, leave it.
Leave it.
But don't just like second generation shouldn't just say, okay, it's Nigerian, so it's not bad. I mean, it's not good. That's not good.
Yeah.
I don't think that the Jews are one of the richest communities
Exactly.
in fact the whole world.
Right.
Because they have that unity.
Right. Right.
They do this thing where like if you're a Jew, like I have an obligation to know you, they make contributions.
Mhm.
They come with everybody
It's so,
around.
it's so strong that it's like it's a circle nobody can break.
Yeah, everybody will be
That's
that
it.
world.
Right.
They can try, but you cannot break into their culture
Yeah.
because
Right.
they hold themselves so steady, like, and it's so strong.
And it's so crazy. I'm sorry. It's crazy because I'm thinking of just how Nigeria is right now and how we are in every sector. You know, business, music, especially movies. We're so big,
Yeah.
but we still don't have the connection and community like the Jewish people do.
Yeah.
And that's like, oh my God, if we had that, we'd be
Imagine the
We have
growth.
the intellectual,
You
we
know?
didn't have that intellectual muscle to like gather all the
Yeah.
resources
Yeah.
and make Nigeria.
But it's the best.
We need to be organized.
We can't just say we're the giant of Africa.
And we have to organize.
You know,
Yeah.
together.
And even with the second generation, the African American community, Black Twitter, and now even on IG, you see that there are more African Americans coming together and
Yes.
learning from each other,
Yes.
learning
Right.
about businesses
Yeah.
now, growing financially and helping each other out in their community. I think that we as Nigerians also need to get together and
Yes.
have our own social media hub where we can get together and
Like,
learn from each other.
Right.
Shout out to Naija Nation. Cause they be on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
and
now
that's
we
how
have
Right.
Now we have a number of social media.
Yeah, and outside Naija, obviously with these conversations,
Yeah.
that give good perspective.
My only issue, and I have to be honest, my only issue I've heard with certain first generation Nigerians is that they would assume that you don't go home, or that you don't speak your language, or they'll assume that you don't know certain things.
Oh yeah.
When some of us go home like years, we have stuff back home.
Yeah.
Not everyone does, but some of us go home.
Yeah.
Some of us have citizenship back home. Some of us have stuff back home.
Yeah.
But the assumption that we just don't, that's
And that's how I check. I be checking the real
There's
good.
no time. There's no time. Because
Right.
once you're locked in this country, you're locked. Like,
Yeah.
You can't go back.
you're always on schedule.
Yeah.
You have to like,
And then whenever you want to go back home, it's like you're trying to go on a vacation, you know?
Oh,
yeah.
And like
You're
relax
gonna
your
go see
mind back
everybody.
home,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So
you're not just gonna go and visit the whole village.
Right. Not right.
Yeah. That's not-
Yeah.
that's-
Yeah, I think this topic is like it's a really beautiful topic.
Yeah.
I feel, and I think that if we can come together, learn from each other, learn from our diversity, learn from the perspective that each and every one of us bring on the table, I think that we can form a really, really beautiful community.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
right.
Excellent.
That's good?
Yeah.
We good?
Okay.
For more DXR media content, follow us on our socials. More content's on the way.